Great experiences don't build themselves.
Behind every personalized journey is complexity, tools, teams, and tech.
AI moves fast. Expectations move faster.
Adobe Experience Cloud offers the power, but strategy turns potential into performance.
This is the AEM Analytics Consulting's Adobe at Scale podcast.
Subscribe, align your stack, accelerate your enterprise. You're listening to our Adobe at Scale podcast, where we demystify the Adobe Experience Cloud and turn enterprise complexity into clarity. Hosted by experts from AEM Analytics Consulting. Let's get into it.
Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive, part of our ongoing AEM Adobe Cloud discussions. Today, we're really zeroing in on some, absolutely critical tools in the digital economy, the ones promising to solve those big challenges around customer experience and data. We're talking Adobe Experience Platform, or AEP, Adobe Experience Manager, AEM, and of course, Customer Data Platform, CDPs.
Absolutely. And, for leaders like yourselves navigating today's market, the core challenges, they're pretty constant, aren't they? How do you actually deliver truly personalized experiences, but in real time? How do you unify that, explosion of customer data from everywhere? And maybe most importantly, how do you make sure your tech investments are actually unlocking real, measurable strategic value? That's really what we want to dig into today.
Exactly. So we've got a stack of insights and knowledge here provided on these really powerful Adobe solutions, AEP, AEM, and Adobe's own real-time CDP. And while they're definitely connected, they tackle quite different problems fundamentally.
Yeah, that's the key. Our mission today is really to clarify those distinctions, explain how they fit together, and maybe most importantly, arm you with the understanding to decide which of these, or maybe what combination, is the right strategic priority for your organization, right now.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because honestly, the whole world of enterprise digital experience tools, it can feel incredibly complex. So many promises, right? AI magic, seamless journeys.
Oh, it can definitely feel overwhelming. Doubt about it. And while AEP, AEM, and Adobe's real-time CDP are, yes, part of the same Adobe family, the same ecosystem, really understanding their distinct core purpose is key to cutting through that noise. They each address a different fundamental problem in how you engage with your customers.
Okay, so let's maybe start with the foundation then. Adobe Experience Platform, AEP. Yeah. We often hear it described as the data foundation for the entire Adobe Experience Cloud. What does it actually mean, from a strategic viewpoint?
Right. Think of AEP as the engine specifically designed to solve that massive problem of siloed customer data, but at enterprise scale. Its fundamental job is to ingest data, unify it, standardize it, and crucially, it does this in real time across every channel you might interact with customers on.
So it's not just grabbing data points, it's actually weaving them together into one coherent picture.
Precisely. And the strategic outcome of that is building these incredibly accurate, dynamic, real-time customer profiles. These aren't just static snapshots from last month. They're living profiles, updating as customer behavior shifts. And that unified view, that's the critical enabler for making smarter decisions and actually delivering genuine real-time personalization, at scale.
That real-time bit sounds absolutely key. So when we look at its core capabilities, things like unifying structured and unstructured data, creating those real-time profiles, identity resolution. Tell me a bit more about why identity resolution is so strategically vital here. What's the core problem that solves for an executive?
That's a great question because your customers, they interact everywhere, don't they? On their phone, their laptop, maybe in a physical store, social media, these different emails, different devices. Identity resolution is that, sophisticated process of recognizing that all these seemingly separate interactions actually belong to the same person. AEP's ability to do that across devices is strategically vital because, without it, you simply can't build that single accurate profile. You'd just be personalized into fragments, right? Leading to disjoint experiences, wasted marketing spend. Yeah. It's a big deal.
Right. And the source material also mentioned AI-driven insights via Adobe Sensei, and importantly, robust data governance. Why is having strong data governance built into the foundation, like in AEP, so critical for executives today?
Well, in today's world, with increasing data privacy regulations everywhere, GDPR, CCPA, you name it, and frankly, heightened customer expectations about how their data is used. Having centralized, transparent data governance and consent management isn't just a compliance checkbox anymore. It's fundamentally about trust. It's a brand differentiator. AEP provides that framework to manage these really critical requirements effectively and at scale.
Okay, so if I'm thinking strategically, AEP sounds less like just another marketing tool and more like the digital nervous system for the entire business.
Yeah.
Collecting, connecting, and then activating data right across the whole customer journey.
That's a really powerful analogy. And yeah, we see major companies like Verizon leveraging AEP exactly that way. They're pulling data from their mobile apps, their retail stores, even customer support interactions. This creates that single real-time profile, which then allows them to personalize experiences dynamically, whether you're browsing their app or actually talking to a representative in person.
Okay, that clarifies AEP nicely. Let's shift gears completely for a moment. Adobe Experience Manager, AEM. This one's probably more widely known maybe as Adobe's enterprise content management system. What's its primary strategic role?
Right. So while AEP is all about the data, AEM is fundamentally about the digital experience itself, specifically the content that actually powers it. Its core job is empowering your teams to efficiently create, manage, and deliver engaging content for those crucial digital touchpoints, websites, mobile apps, online forums, you name it. And a key strategic benefit, especially for global organizations, is enabling collaboration and speeding up that content velocity, getting things out the door faster, but consistently.
So AEM is where the stories get told visually and where the experiences are actually built.
Exactly. Its capabilities really revolve around that whole process. Managing large, complex websites, mobile apps, organizing and tagging all your brand assets through a centralized digital asset manager, the DAM. Think of the DAM as like your single source of truth for all images, videos, documents. It ensures everyone's using the right approved assets, which is critical for brand consistency.
And AEM also handles personalization and localization, doesn't it?
Yes. Absolutely crucial capabilities.
Yeah.
It allows you to personalize the content based on behavioral data or profile data, which of course becomes incredibly powerful when it's connected to a data platform like AEP, and it's essential for managing multilingual and region-specific content at scale. Making sure your brand speaks appropriately to diverse global audiences. It also integrates tightly with other Adobe tools focused on optimization, like Target and Analytics.
Okay, so if AEP is the nervous system, maybe AEM is more like your digital experience engine, building and delivering the actual stuff customers see and interact with.
That's a pretty good way to frame it, yeah. A classic example often cited is Philips Healthcare. They manage a huge number of complex multilingual websites and detailed product catalogs using AEM. This lets them deliver highly personalized, medically accurate content to healthcare professionals all over the world, specifically tailored to their region, their specialty, their needs.
Right. Now let's bring in the third player here. Customer data platforms, or CDPs. These have definitely gained a lot of buzz recently. What's the core purpose of a CDP, generally speaking, and who's it really designed for?
So at its heart, a CDP is primarily focused on collecting, unifying, and critically activating first-party customer data. That's the data you collect directly from your own customers. Now, while AEP builds that comprehensive, deep data foundation, CDPs are generally designed more with, say, marketing and customer experience teams in mind. Their real value proposition is enabling those teams to easily create targeted customer segments and then activate them quickly across various channels. Think advertising, email, website personalization.
Okay, so how does Adobe's real-time CDP fit into this picture, especially given that they already have AEP? Is it separate?
This is a really critical distinction with Adobe's offering and important to understand. Their real-time CDP is actually built directly on top of AEP. So AEP provides that underlying comprehensive real-time data foundation and the unified profile we talked about. The CDP then acts as a more, let's say, user-friendly, marketer-facing interface, specifically designed for audience segmentation and activation, but it leverages all the powerful data already unified by AEP.
I see. So AEP does the really heavy data lifting, the foundational work, and the CDP makes that unified data more accessible and immediately actionable for the marketing teams.
Exactly that. Its core capabilities are things like pulling in data from all your channels, digital and offline, creating those unified profiles, but powered by AEP, segmenting users dynamically based on real-time behaviors, and then activating those very precise audiences across channels, email, web, social ads, mobile apps, etc. And just like AEP, it also has robust capabilities for managing consent and privacy preferences, which is vital.
Yeah, I can definitely see the value proposition for marketing teams there. It sounds like it allows them to be much more agile, right? Acting on fresh data without constantly needing IT to pull lists or set up basic segments.
Absolutely. Speed and agility for marketers is a huge part of the CDP value. T-Mobile is often used as a great example here, using Adobe's real-time CDP. They can trigger personalized campaigns across SMS, email, digital ads, you name it. And their segments update almost instantly based on things like recent app usage or maybe a store visit, allowing for incredibly timely and relevant outreach.
Okay, putting these side by side now, it really starts to clarify their distinct strategic roles, doesn't it? Even though they're in the same Adobe ecosystem.
Right. If we try to summarize the comparison, AEP's primary role is that comprehensive data unification and activation foundation, the bedrock. AEM's primary role is the management and delivery of digital content and experiences. And the CDP, especially Adobe's, is the marketer-focused interface for audience segmentation and activation, leveraging that unified data from AEP.
And for real-time data personalization capabilities, AEP and the CDP are inherently built for this, enabling dynamic experiences based on live data. Whereas AEM, kind of on its own, is more about managing the content itself. It only becomes truly real-time capable when it's integrated with a data platform like AEP or a CDP, right?
Exactly. AEP powers personalization broadly across the whole ecosystem. AEM personalizes what specific content gets delivered. The CDP personalizes who you target and how you reach them based on those rich, data-driven segments.
And machine learning. We mentioned Adobe Sensei. That seems deeply embedded in ADP for insights and profile building. AEM uses it too, but maybe more for things like smart tagging assets. The core data intelligence sits in AEP, which the CDP then leverages.
That's generally right. And thinking about the best fit, it really depends on your organization's current priorities. AEP is often a major strategic initiative, frequently led by data architects, IT leadership, CX strategist folks, focused on that foundational data layer. AEM is typically driven more by marketing, content teams, and IT, focusing on scaling the digital presence efficiently and managing assets well. A CDP, on the other hand, is often championed by digital marketing and campaign teams who are laser-focused on improving audience targeting and activation speed.
Integration depth is another key point, I suppose. AEP and AEM are core, deeply integrated parts of the Adobe Experience Cloud. And Adobe's real-time CDP obviously benefits hugely from this because it's built on AEP, unlike many third-party CDPs where you'd need to build and manage those integrations separately.
Exactly. So for the executives listening, grappling with, where should we invest first? How do you make that choice? It really boils down to clarifying your organization's most pressing challenge and your main strategic goal first. What problem are you really trying to solve right now?
So for instance, if your primary pain point is definitely siloed data everywhere, you just can't get that single view of the customer, and it's hindering any attempt at truly personalized cross-channel journeys, then building that real-time data foundation with AEP is, likely your top priority.
Right. But if your main strategic focus is more on scaling your digital footprint, maybe you're managing a massive volume of content, multiple brands, multiple regions, devices, and improving the efficiency and governance around your digital assets is key, then investing in and optimizing AEM is probably the most impactful area for you right now.
Okay. And then if your marketing team is really agile, ready to leverage unified first-party data, and the big goal is to empower them to quickly build and activate highly targeted segments for campaigns across email, web, ads, without those constant IT bottlenecks. Then prioritizing a CDP, especially one built on a solid foundation, is likely your fastest path to making a noticeable impact.
But, what's truly fascinating here is, for many large enterprises, the ones really pushing the boundaries of customer experience, it's often not an either or choice in the long run. They actually integrate all three of these tools.
And this is where it gets really interesting, isn't it? Because the true power, the synergy, is unlocked when these platforms work together seamlessly. So AEP creates that single dynamic real-time data brain for the business. The CDP sits effectively on top, making it easy for marketing teams to access that brain and activate precise real-time segments. And then AEM takes the strategic intelligence from the data and the targeted segments from the CDP to deliver exactly the right personalized content and digital experiences to the right person at exactly the right moment.
That's the goal. It's that integrated stack that allows sophisticated organizations to truly align their data strategy, their content strategy, and their personalization strategy. That's how you deliver those modern, impactful customer experiences consistently and at scale. It's less about the individual tools and more about the strategic synergy they create when working together.
Okay, so let's try to summarize this deep dive then. AEP builds the foundational data intelligence, that unified real-time view of your customer. the brain, if you will. AEM is your digital experience engine, managing and delivering the compelling content, the actual touch points. And CDPs, particularly Adobe's built on AEP, empower your marketing teams to act quickly and precisely on that unified data through segmentation and activation.
Exactly. Each addresses a fundamentally different but absolutely crucial piece of the modern digital experience puzzle. And navigating those interdependencies, determining the right sequence of investment for your specific organization.
Well, that's the key strategic challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And it's probably worth noting, the source material did highlight that there are AEM analytics experts available for hands-on strategy and implementation support, specifically tailored to integrating these components within the Adobe Experience Cloud stack. And also that you can talk to Adobe Experience specialists directly, often for a free consultation, to help map these tools to your specific business roadmap and needs. Good points. So maybe a final thought to leave everyone with. What does this all really mean strategically? Considering how distinct yet how interconnected these platforms are, one for data, one for content, one primarily for audience activation, and given the accelerating demand for hyper-personalization alongside those ever-evolving data privacy demands. Consider this: how will the strategic integration, and just as importantly, the operational ownership of these different systems inevitably shape the required skills, the organizational structure, and ultimately the agility of your modern marketing and CX teams in the years to come?
That's a really critical thought for any leader thinking about the future of their customer relationships. A lot to mull over there.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for this deep dive today, part of your ongoing AEM Adobe Cloud discussions.
Yes, thank you. We really hope you found this valuable. If you are liking our discussions or perhaps have thoughts on how these platforms are impacting your own business and strategy, please do let us know. Your comments and feedback are always highly appreciated.
Bye for now.